Look at the corner of your room. Is there a guitar there? One you promised yourself you would learn to play. Now, it only gathers dust. What about that online course you purchased? The one you were so excited about. You told everyone you were finally going to learn that new skill. You are still on Module 2, and it has been 6 months. What about the gym membership card in your wallet? The business plan you started, filled with passion and late-night coffee that now sits in a forgotten drawer? This is the graveyard of good intentions. It is the place where our dreams go to die. Each one is a silent monument to a promise we broke to ourselves. Why does this happen? Why do we start with so much fire, only to end with ashes? We are masters of the beginning. We are brilliant at day 1, but we are failures at day 10, day 50, and day 100. We have convinced ourselves that starting is the hard part. That is a lie. Starting is easy. Finishing is everything. We are trapped in this cycle of starting and quitting, a cycle of excitement and shame. But what if I told you this is not a personal failure? What if it is a failure of strategy? What if the reason you quit is not because you are weak, but because your foundation is weak? Good morning, everyone. Today we begin the process of breaking that cycle forever. Today we are going to talk about discipline. But not the kind of discipline you have heard about before. We are not going to talk about life hacks. We will not discuss simple tips like waking up early or taking cold showers. Those things are fragile. They are surface-level tricks that do not last, because they do not address the real problem. The problem is not your alarm clock. The problem is your reason for waking up. This audiobook is about building a foundation so deep and so powerful that quitting is no longer an option. It is about finding your true, unshakable ideal. I call it the 3-pillar system for discipline. It is a framework that separates the quitters from the finishers. In the chapters to come, we will tear down the old, weak structures that have caused you to fail. Then, we will build a new one, together, piece by piece. We will learn that the first pillar, money, is a necessary and honest start, but we will also learn why it is a shaky foundation on its own, and why it is the precise reason most people fail. We will then build the second pillar, value. This is the pillar where you make a profound shift from focusing on what you can get to focusing on what you can give. And finally, we will construct the third and most powerful pillar, legacy. This is the big why that connects your daily struggle to a purpose far greater than yourself. This is the pillar that makes you unstoppable. When you build your life and your goals on these 3 pillars, you do not need motivation. You have something better. You have purpose. You will not be blown over by the first gust of wind, or the first failure, or the first feeling of boredom. This journey will require honesty. It will require you to confront the reasons you have failed in the past. But if you are tired of that dusty guitar, if you are sick of those half-finished projects, and if you are ready to finally become a person who finishes what they start, then let us begin. Chapter 1. The Just for Fun. Quitting Trap. We live in a culture that is obsessed with starting. We love the feeling of day 1. We love the smell of a new car, the look of a fresh notebook, the clean code of a new project, or the feeling of brand new running shoes on our feet. We get a rush of excitement. We tell our friends, we post about it online, we announce our new venture, our new diet, our new hobby, and we call this exploring. We call it trying new things. We tell ourselves we are just seeing if we like it. We say we are doing it just for fun. This right here is the single most dangerous trap for your discipline. It sounds innocent. It sounds harmless. But the just for fun mindset is the #1 killer of our dreams. It is the reason the guitar sits in the corner, the reason the online course is unfinished, the reason the business plan is still just a plan. Why do we fall into this trap? Because it is safe. Think about it. If you tell yourself and everyone else that you are just trying something, you give yourself the perfect excuse to quit. You have built an exit strategy before you even begin. When it gets hard, when it gets boring, when it stops being fun, you can walk away. And you do not have to feel like a failure. You can just say, "Oh, I tried it, and it was not for me." You did not fail. You just stopped. This is the mindset of the hobbyist. The hobbyist loves the idea of the skill, but not the work of the skill. The hobbyist loves the thought of playing the guitar in front of friends, but hates the part where their fingers hurt and they have to practice the same chords for 3 hours. The hobbyist loves the idea of running a marathon, but hates the reality of waking up at 5 in the morning to run in the cold. The hobbyist is addicted to the starting line. The master is focused on the finish line. The just for fun trap conditions us to believe that if something is not easy or entertaining, it is not worth doing. We are surrounded by distraction. Our phones show us 1,000 new, shiny objects every day. A new career we could have, a new place we could visit, a new person we could be. We get a small chemical hit of excitement from starting something new. But success is not built on that. Success is built in the long, quiet, and often boring middle. The part of the journey where nobody is clapping, where you are not seeing instant results, and where the fun has long since disappeared. This brings us to a critical question. You must ask yourself this: where is your personal quitting point? We all have one. For many of us, it is the end of the honeymoon. This is about 2 to 3 weeks into any new project. The novelty is gone. The running shoes are now dirty. The guitar strings have made your fingers sore. The new business is no longer just ideas on a whiteboard. It is now about spreadsheets and difficult phone calls. It stops being new, and it starts being work. And because you started just for fun, you have no real reason to continue when the fun stops, so you quit. For others, the quitting point is the first real failure. You practice the song, you go on stage at an open mic, and you sound terrible. Your friends look uncomfortable. Or you launch your product, and you get 0 sales. Not one. Or you go for your first 5-mile run, and you have to stop and walk after just 10 minutes, feeling defeated. This is the moment your ego gets punched in the face. This is the moment it becomes truly painful. And because you started just for fun, you did not sign up for pain. You did not sign up for humiliation. You just wanted the fun parts. So you quit. And then, there is the most dangerous quitting point of all: the plateau. This is the sneakiest trap. You are not failing. You are just stuck. You have been going to the gym for 6 months. You saw great results for the first 3 months. But now, for the last 3, nothing has changed. You practice your new skill every single day, but you do not feel like you are getting any better. This is the long, boring desert of the journey. This is where most people give up, just before the next big breakthrough. They quit not because it is too hard, but because it is too boring. In all 3 of these scenarios, the just for fun mindset is the villain. It is a weak, fragile foundation. It gives you no reason to push through the pain, no reason to endure the boredom, and no reason to get back up after you fail. This is the heart of the problem. The just for fun trap is not the real disease. it is only a symptom. The disease is a lack of a real reason. It is a lack of a big why. The person who finishes is not better than you. They are not smarter. They are not luckier. They are not more talented. They simply have a reason that is bigger than their discomfort. They have a foundation so strong that the wind and the rain of failure and boredom cannot knock it down. When you have a real why, you do not need it to be fun. Your first step on this journey to unbreakable discipline is to make a promise to yourself. It is an act of total honesty. You must stop using this excuse. You must stop lying to yourself. From this moment on, you will stop saying, "I am just trying," or "I am just seeing how it goes." That phrase is a preparation to fail. From now on, when you decide to do something, you do it. You commit. It is better to choose only one thing and see it all the way to the end than to start 100 things and leave them all in the graveyard of good intentions. The just for fun trap keeps you a beginner forever. It robs you of mastery. It robs you of the deep, powerful, unshakable confidence that only comes from finishing what you started. It is time to escape this trap. It is time to learn the secret of the finishers. And that secret is not about hacks or tricks or overnight success. It is about the power of longevity. It is about the 10-year rule. And that is exactly what we are going to build in the next chapter. Chapter 2. The Power of Longevity. Lessons from Enduring Success. We are a culture that is obsessed with overnight success. We read stories about the app that was built in a weekend and sold for $1 billion. We see the young musician who posts one video and becomes a global superstar. We are addicted to the myth of the lottery ticket, the myth of the lucky break. But it is a myth. The antidote to the just for fun quitting trap from Chapter 1 is the single, simple, and powerful truth of longevity. If you truly look at every person, every company, and every career that you admire, you will not find overnight success. You will find something much more powerful. You will find the 10-year rule. This is the uncomfortable truth. Anything truly worthwhile takes about 10 years. 10 years to build a great business. 10 years to master a craft. 10 years to build a truly strong body. 10 years to become an overnight success. Of course, the number 10 is not magic. It could be 7 years. It could be 15 years. The point is that real, lasting success is never fast. It is a game of endurance. The winner is almost always the person who simply stayed in the game longer than anyone else. Why? Because success is not a single event. It is not one moment of glory. Success is a messy, difficult, and long-term process of survival and adaptation. The person who quits after 6 months, the person who fell into the just for fun trap, never learns anything. They hit their first real failure, and they walk away. The only lesson they learn is how to quit. The person who stays, however, unlocks the most powerful mechanism for growth in the universe. I call it the fix and optimize loop. This loop is the engine of all success, and it only works if you have longevity. It only works if you refuse to quit. Here is how it works. When you commit to the long haul, you accept that you will fail. You accept that you will be embarrassed. You accept that your first version will be terrible. Your first business idea will be flawed. Your first painting will be ugly. Your first attempt at public speaking will be a disaster. The quitter sees this as a stop sign. It is the end of the road. The finisher, the person committed to longevity, sees it as a data point. It is not an end. It is the beginning of the real work. The The first part of the loop is to fix. When you fail, you have two choices. You can quit, or you can fix it. Fixing is the process of survival. It is patching the holes in the boat so you can stay afloat. A customer complains about your product. You do not close your business. You listen, you find the problem, and you fix the product. You get a bad review on your food. You do not close your restaurant. You go back to the kitchen, you taste the food, and you fix the recipe. Fixing is painful. It requires you to admit you were wrong. It forces you to confront your weaknesses and your failures directly. Most people will do anything to avoid this pain. And so, they quit. But the person who stays, the person who endures this pain, gets to the second magical part of the loop: to optimize. Optimizing is what happens after you have fixed the immediate problems. Optimizing is the process of going from not failing to actively winning. This is the path of mastery. This is the 1% better every day idea you have heard about. You fixed the bad recipe. Now how can you make it great? You add a new ingredient. You experiment with the temperature. You change the presentation. You optimize. You fix the embarrassing bug in your software. Now, how can you make the software faster? How can you make it more user-friendly? You optimize. You fix the terrible ending of your book. Now, how can you make the characters more compelling? How can you make the dialogue sharper? You optimize. This loop, fix, optimize, only works with time. You cannot optimize something you quit. You cannot master a skill you abandon after 3 weeks. Think about the local restaurant in your town, the one that has been there for 20 years. Do you think they were that good on day 1? No. On day 1, they probably burned the bread. In year 1, they struggled to pay rent. But they did not quit. They fixed the burned bread. They optimized their menu. They fixed their slow service. They optimized their prices. They did this every single day for 10 years. Now they are a beloved institution. They are an overnight success that took a decade to build. This is the power of longevity. It is not sexy. It does not sell movie tickets. But it is the truth. This is why we need discipline. Discipline is not for the fun part. It is not for day 1. Discipline is the fuel for the fix and optimized loop. Discipline is what makes you show up on year 4, day 83, when it is raining outside, you have zero motivation, and you just got a bad review. Discipline is the commitment to longevity itself. It is the decision to stay in the game long enough for the loop to work its magic. The reward for this kind of discipline is not just the goal itself. The reward is the person you become in the process. You become the person who knows how to fix things. You become the person who knows how to optimize. You build a deep, unshakable confidence in yourself, a confidence that cannot be earned just for fun. It can only be earned by enduring. You are no longer the hobbyist who is afraid of failure. You are the master who eats failure for breakfast. So we have established the 2 foundational truths. In Chapter 1, we learned that the just-for-fun mindset is a trap that guarantees failure. And now, in Chapter 2, we have learned that longevity is the antidote, and the fix and optimize loop is the engine of success. This leads us to the most important question of all. If we know we need to stay in the game for 10 years, and if we know we must power through the pain of fixing and the boredom of optimizing, how do we do it? Where does that kind of superhuman fuel come from? It does not come from motivation. It does not come from willpower. It comes from your ideal, It comes from your big why. And that why must be built on a foundation of 3 specific, powerful pillars. That is what we will build in the next chapter. Chapter 3, Finding Your Big Why. The 3-pillar system. This is the chapter where everything changes. In Chapter 1, we identified the enemy, the just-for-fun trap that trains us to quit. In Chapter 2, we found the antidote, the power of longevity, the 10-year commitment to the fix and optimize loop. And now, we have arrived at the final, most critical question. How do we fuel that 10-year journey? How do we find the strength to keep going when it is hard, when it is boring, and when we have failed? The answer is not motivation. Motivation is a feeling. It is an emotion. It is like a sugar rush. It feels amazing for a little while, and then it is gone. You cannot build a 10-year career on a feeling. You cannot build a life on an emotion that comes and goes. The answer is not willpower. Willpower is like a muscle. It gets tired. You can use it to force yourself to do something you hate for a day or a week. But you cannot use willpower to force yourself for 10 years. It will break. The answer is something deeper. It is something permanent. It is the core, the engine, the unshakable foundation. I call it your ideal. Your ideal is your big why. It is your profound, non-negotiable reason for doing what you do. It is the truth you hold that is more important than your comfort, more important than your mood, and more important than your fear. This is the central idea of this entire book. Discipline is not about forcing yourself. Discipline is about finding a reason so powerful that you are pulled forward. But here is the secret. Here is the part that almost everyone gets wrong. Your big why cannot be just one thing. This is the most common failure I see. This is why so many passionate, talented people burn out and quit. They build their entire life's work on a foundation with only one leg. Think of your discipline as a stool. If you build a one-legged stool, what happens? The moment you put any pressure on it, it falls over. It is completely unstable. It is useless. If you build a 2-legged stool, what happens? It is better, but it is still wobbly. You have to constantly fight to keep it balanced. It is exhausting. The slightest uneven ground will make it crash. But a 3-legged stool is a miracle of engineering. It is stable. It is strong. You can put it on a rocky, uneven surface, and it will not wobble. You can lean on it. You can trust it. Most people are trying to build their discipline, their career, and their entire life on a one-legged stool, and they wonder why they keep falling over. Your big why, your ideal, must be a 3-pillar system. You must have at least 3 powerful core reasons for your work. Why 3? Because when one of those pillars gets weak, the other 2 will hold you up. Let me show you how this works by showing you how the one-legged stools always fail. What is the most common single pillar? It is the one we talked about in the intro. It is money. People say, my why is to get rich. I want to make $1 million. That is a fine goal, but as a one-legged stool, it is a disaster. Why? Because what happens when you hit a setback? What happens when your new business loses money for the first 6 months? What happens when you have to face the pain of the fix and optimize loop, and you are not getting paid for it? If your only reason is money, and you are not making money, you have no reason to continue. Your stool has no leg. You will quit. It is that simple. So smart people say, okay, I will not make it about money. I will follow the other advice. I will follow my passion. This is the second one-legged stool, and it is just as dangerous. Follow your passion is wonderful advice for starting. Passion is the fuel that gets the rocket off the launch pad, but it is not the fuel that gets the rocket to the moon. Passion is an emotion, and emotions are temporary. You might be passionate about painting, or coding, or building a business. You will feel that passion on day 1. But will you feel it on year 4, day 83, when you have been staring at a boring spreadsheet for 6 hours? Will you feel it when you have to practice the same boring musical scale for the 1,000th time? Will you feel it when you are in the plateau we talked about, and you have not felt like you have improved in months? No. You will feel bored. You will feel frustrated. You will feel tired. And if passion is your only leg, what will you do? You will say, I am just not passionate about this anymore. And you will quit. You will go look for the next shiny object, the next thing to be passionate about. You will become a hobbyist forever, jumping from one passion to the next, never finishing anything. Then there is the third one-legged stool. This is the noble one. My why is to help people, or my why is to change the world. This is a beautiful, powerful reason. But on its own, it is also a trap. It is the path to burnout. If your only reason is to serve others, what happens when you cannot pay your own rent? What happens when you are giving everything you have to your mission, but your own family is suffering? What happens when you are so exhausted and broke that you have nothing left to give? You cannot pour from an empty cup. If your noble cause is your only leg, you will eventually collapse. You will be forced to quit your mission, not because you want to, but because you have to. You will have to go get a real job just to survive, and your mission will fail. Do you see the problem? Each one of these pillars, money, passion, and purpose, is essential. But not one of them is strong enough to hold you up on its own. The 3-pillar system is how you combine them. It is how you build a stool that will not fall. When your 3 pillars work together, they protect each other. Imagine a day when you are failing. You are not making any money. Pillar 1 is weak. You are also frustrated, and your passion, pillar 2, is gone. The old you, the one-legged stool you, would quit. But the new you has a 3rd pillar, legacy, pillar 3. You remember that you are doing this for your family. You are doing this to build something that lasts. You are doing this to help your community. And that reason is strong enough to make you show up, even when you are broke and frustrated. So you show up. You do the work. You fix the problem. And guess what? Because you did the work, you get a new customer. The money, pillar 1, starts to flow again. And because you solved the problem, you feel a spark of that old passion, pillar 2, coming back. The 3rd pillar saved the other 2. This is the system. This is the foundation for unbreakable discipline. It is not a hack. It is a strategy. In the next 3 chapters, we are going to build your 3 pillars, one by one. We will start with the most basic, most honest one, money. We will learn how to use it as a powerful and healthy foundation. Then, we will build the 2nd pillar, value. This is the shift from passion to a more durable idea, the craft of solving real problems. And finally, we will build the 3rd unstoppable pillar, legacy. This is the big why that will carry you across any finish line. It is time to stop balancing. It is time to build something solid. Chapter 4. Pillar 1. Money and why it is a shaky foundation. Let us be perfectly honest. We are going to start with the pillar that most people are afraid to talk about, or they pretend is not important. we are going to talk about money. For some, it is a dirty word. It is a symbol of greed. For others, it is the only word that matters. It is the only reason they get out of bed in the morning. Both of these extremes are dangerous. Both of them are wrong. In our three-pillar system for discipline, money is pillar number 1. It is the first leg of our three-legged stool. And it is not just an acceptable pillar. It is a necessary, essential, and responsible pillar. It is not shallow to want money. It is not greedy to want to be paid well for your work. Money is a tool. It is a form of energy. It is what buys you food. It is what pays for the roof over your head. It is what provides security for your family. It is what pays for the medicine when you or someone you love gets sick. It is not irresponsible to want these things. In fact, it is irresponsible not to. Money is also a form of freedom. It is the power to say no to a job you hate. It is the power to leave a bad situation. It is the power to buy back your time, which is your most precious, non-renewable resource. So let us establish this right now. Money is a good, important, and powerful motivator. If one of your reasons for building a business, or getting a promotion, or learning a new skill is to make more money, that is an excellent start. It is an honest start. We must have this pillar. But here is the critical, multi-million-dollar question. If money is so important, why can it not be your only reason? Why is it such a dangerous, one-legged stool? Because money is a fragile motivator. It is powerful, but it is fragile. And it breaks in two very specific ways. It fails you at the worst possible time. The first way money fails you is at the breaking point. This is the failure scenario we all fear. This is when you are losing. Let us imagine you decide to start a new business. You quit your job. You are all in. And your one and only reason, your one-legged stool, is to make $1 million. You get to work. In month 1, you make $0. In month 2, you have to pay for your website, your software, and your supplies. You are now minus $500. In month 3, you launch your first product. You run some ads, and you get 1 sale. But you spent $200 on the ads. You are now minus $800. Let us pause here. Your one and only motivation is money. Your goal is to get money. But right now, the work is taking money from you. Your one-legged stool is not just wobbly. It has been completely pulled out from under you. You are now in the fix and optimize loop that we talked about in Chapter 2. This is the moment when you are supposed to be digging in. You are supposed to be learning from your failure. You are supposed to be fixing the bad product, optimizing the bad ads. But what fuel are you supposed to use? Your only fuel tank, money, is not just empty. It is running in reverse. This is the breaking point. Your brain, which is wired for survival, screams at you, "This is not working. This is hurting us. This is the opposite of our goal. Stop this now." And so you quit. You quit not because you are lazy. You quit because your motivation system was logical. Your only why was to get money, and this was costing you money. Quitting was the most logical thing to do. This is why people who are only in it for the money are the first to quit when things get hard. They have no other reason to endure the pain of the fix and optimize loop. They have no other fuel tank. The person who quits here never makes it to year 1, let alone year 10. That is the first failure, the breaking point. The second way money fails you is much quieter. It is much more dangerous. It is the good enough trap. This is the failure scenario of stagnation. This is what happens when you do not fail. You succeed, just a little bit. Let us go back to our example. Let us say your goal was to get a promotion and make $100,000 a year. You work hard. You are disciplined. And after 3 years, you did it. You got the raise. Your bank account now shows an income of $105,000 a year. Congratulations. You have won. You have achieved your big why. So now what? The hunt is over. The incentive is gone. Your one and only reason for showing up, for innovating, for working late, for going the extra mile, it has been accomplished. What happens to your discipline? It vanishes. You stop innovating. You stop optimizing. You stop fixing. Why would you? There is no reason. You have already won the prize. You enter the good enough zone. You do the bare minimum not to get fired. You do just enough to maintain your salary. Your growth stops. Your mastery stops. You are now just coasting. You have become comfortable, and comfort is the enemy of all greatness. This good enough trap is where millions of people are stuck. They are stuck in jobs they do not hate, but do not love. They are stuck making an income that is fine. They have lost the fire, the drive, the discipline to become masters, because their one and only pillar, money, told them the job was finished. And while they are coasting, someone else, someone who is hungrier, someone who has more than one pillar, is coming for their job. They are in the fix and optimize loop. They are innovating, and eventually, they will replace the person who got comfortable. So, I want to be very clear. This chapter is not telling you to forget about money. That would be foolish. Pillar 1 is essential. You must have it. It is the concrete foundation of your house. You cannot build a house on mud, but you also cannot live on a concrete slab. It is not a home. It is just the beginning. Money is an excellent result, but a poor driver. It is the reward you get for doing other things well. When you are broke, when you are failing, and when you are losing money, you must have another reason to show up. And when you are successful, when you are good enough, and when you have all the money you thought you wanted, you must have another reason to keep going, to keep growing, to keep striving for mastery. Money is the starting line, but it is not the finish line. That is why we cannot stop here. We have poured the foundation. It is solid, but it is not a house. We need walls. It is time to build pillar number 2. It is time to talk about value. Chapter 5. Pillar 2. Solving a real problem, value. We have poured the concrete. Pillar 1, money, is in place. It is the solid, honest, and necessary foundation for our house. But as we learned in the last chapter, it is a very dangerous foundation to build on alone. It is a concrete slab, and you cannot live on a bare slab. It fails you when you are losing money at the breaking point. And it fails you when you have made good enough, luring you into the trap of stagnation. It provides a start, but it offers no resilience. Today, we build the walls. Welcome to Pillar 2. This pillar is about a profound, fundamental shift in your focus. It is the shift from asking the first question, "What can I get?" to asking the second, more powerful question, "What can I give?" This is the pillar of value. This is the moment your work stops being just a job and it starts to become a craft. It is the moment you fall in love with the problem more than you are in love with the reward. Now, I must make a very important distinction here. This is critical. Many people and many books will confuse this pillar with passion. They are not the same thing. Follow your passion is just as dangerous as follow the money. Why? Because as we have discussed, passion is a feeling. It is an emotion. It comes and goes. It is the rocket fuel for day one. It is not the sustainable, long-term fuel that gets you to year 7. Passion is what you feel. It is internal. It is selfish. And when you do not feel it anymore, it gives you the perfect excuse to quit. Just like the just for fun trap in Chapter 1. Value is different. Value is not a feeling. It is a process. It is a commitment. It is a decision. It is the decision to solve a problem for someone else. Passion is about how you feel. Value is about how you make someone else feel. This is why it is infinitely stronger. When you build this pillar, you do something revolutionary. You externalize your why. Your reason for working is no longer just about you, your bank account, or your feelings. Your reason for working is now about your customer, your client, your audience, or your user. Your new goal is their satisfaction. Your new mission is their success. This changes everything. Because this new pillar, the pillar of value, is the ultimate weapon against the 2 great failure modes of Pillar 1. First, let us see how Pillar 2 destroys the breaking point. Let us go back to our nightmare scenario. You are in month 3 of your new business. You are minus $800. Pillar 1, money, is screaming at you. It is a siren blaring in your head. Abort! Abort! This is a disaster! Pull the plug! Quit! The old you, the one-legged stool you, would have quit. It is the only logical thing to do. But the new you, the 2-legged stool you, has Pillar 2. Value. Your focus is not just on getting money. Your focus is on solving your customer's problem. You look at your one sale, but you also have an email from that one customer. The email says, "I liked the idea of your product, but it was confusing to use and it broke after 2 days." The old you would have seen this as another failure. A soul-crushing insult on top of a financial loss. But the new you sees it as a clue. It is a data point. It is a map. Your new motivation is not, "I have to make money." Your new motivation is, "I have to make this better for them." The fix and optimize loop we talked about in Chapter 2 now has a new, powerful source of fuel. You are not just fixing your business to save yourself. You are fixing your business to serve your customer. This is the mindset of the master craftsman. The craftsman does not quit when a piece of wood splits. He does not throw his tools down and go home in a rage. He studies the wood. He learns from the grain. He fixes his technique. His pride is not in his paycheck. His pride is in the work itself. When your motivation is to solve the problem, a failure is no longer a failure. It is an education. It is an opportunity. Pillar 2, value, gives you a reason to endure the financial pain of Pillar 1 because you are on a mission that is bigger than your bank account. Second, let us see how Pillar 2 demolishes the good enough trap. This is the trap of stagnation. You got the promotion. You are making $100,000 a year. Pillar 1, money, is fat and happy. It is telling you, "We did it, time to coast, put your feet up, do the bare minimum." But Pillar 2, value, is never satisfied. It is never finished. Because the mission of solving the problem is a job that is always evolving. There is always a way to make it better. Think about the best barbecue restaurant in your state. The owner has probably been doing it for 20 years. They make fantastic money. Pillar 1 is very strong. They could coast. They could use the exact same recipe and the same process for the next 20 years. But they do not. Why? Because they are not just in the money business. They are in the perfect barbecue business. They are driven by Pillar 2. They are obsessed. They are experimenting with a new blend of wood for the smoker. They are adjusting their rub recipe by a tiny 0.5%. They are trying to find a way to shorten the wait time for their customers by 30 seconds. They are optimizing, not because they have to, but because their discipline is driven by their craft. Or think about that real estate agent. They just closed a huge sale. They got the big commission check. Pillar 1 is thrilled. The job is done, right? Not for the agent driven by value. This agent calls the new homeowners a week after they move in. They send them a curated list of the best local plumbers, electricians, and schools. They check in 6 months later just to see how the family is settling in. They are not doing this for an immediate paycheck. They are doing this because they have decided their job is not selling a house. They have decided their job is helping people successfully transition their lives. This commitment to value is what builds a legendary reputation. And that reputation, in the long run, will make them far more money than the agent who just cashed the check and disappeared. Do you see how the pillars work together? Pillar 2. Value gives you a reason to keep going. When Pillar 1, money, is failing. And it gives you a reason to keep striving when Pillar 1 is already satisfied. It gives you the resilience to endure the fix and optimize loop and the hunger to stay in it forever. So now, we have a two-legged stool. It is far stronger. We have money, Pillar 1, and value, Pillar 2. We have our concrete foundation, and we have our walls. This is a massive improvement. You are already stronger and more resilient than 90% of the people you know. But it is still just a two-legged stool. It can still wobble. What happens on the dark days? And those days will come. What happens on the day when you are losing money and a customer insults your work? What happens when Pillar 1 and Pillar 2 are both attacked at the exact same time? You feel broke, and you feel unappreciated. This is the day many good, talented people finally break. To survive this day, to become truly unbreakable, you need the final stabilizing leg. You need the roof. You need the one pillar that does not depend on your bank account and does not depend on other people's validation. It is time to build Pillar 3, Legacy. Chapter 6. The third pillar. Building a legacy, posterity, and society. We have done the hard work. We have poured the solid concrete foundation, which is Pillar 1, money. We have built the strong protective walls, which are Pillar 2, value. We now have a two-legged stool. It is strong. It is more stable than what 90% of the world is building. You have a reason to show up when you are not making money, value. And you have a reason to keep striving when you are making good enough, value. This is a fantastic achievement, but it is not finished. A house with a foundation and walls is a shelter, but it is not yet a home. A two-legged stool is balanced, but it can still be toppled. We must prepare for the worst day. I call it the dark day. The dark day is when the storm comes for you. It is the day when both of your pillars are attacked at the same time. It is the day when you find out your biggest client is leaving you, and at the same time, your business partner tells you that you are 3 months away from running out of cash. It is the day when you pour your heart into a project. You deliver it, and the customer not only hates it, they post a 1-star review, call you a fraud, and demand a refund. On this day, Pillar 1, money, is gone. You are broke or you are losing. And Pillar 2, value, is also attacked. You are not just broke, You feel unappreciated. Your craft, your mission to help, has been rejected and insulted. This is the moment. This is the ultimate test. You have no money. You have no praise. You have no passion. You have no external validation at all. This is the day when even the best, most talented people break. This is the day they quit. To survive this day, to become truly 100% permanently unbreakable, you need the final leg. You need the roof on the house. Welcome to Pillar 3. Legacy. This is the final and most powerful pillar of them all. Why? Because Pillar 1 and Pillar 2 are still, in some way, external. Money comes from other people. Value and validation are given by other people, your customers, your clients. Pillar 3 is different. Pillar 3 is completely internal. It does not depend on your bank account. It does not depend on your customers' opinions. It does not depend on anything but your own non-negotiable core mission. This is the why that can never be taken away from you. This is the reason you will get up off the floor on your worst day, wipe the dust off, and get back to work. Legacy is a big, intimidating word. So let us break it down into 3 simple, practical components. You must have at least one of these. The most powerful people have all 3. The first component is family. This is the most immediate and often the most powerful form of legacy. You are not just working for yourself, you are working for your partner, your children, your parents, or the people who depend on you. When you are on the floor, broke and insulted, you are tempted to quit. But then you look at a picture of your son or daughter. You think about the life you want to give them. You think about the stability you want to provide for them. You are not just fighting for your dream. You are fighting for their future. But it is even deeper than that. You are not just providing for them. You are setting an example for them. Your children are watching you. Every day, you are teaching them what it means to be an adult. So what are you going to teach them? Are you going to teach them that when things get hard, when you get insulted, the right thing to do is to quit? Are you going to teach them that the world is a mean place and it is better to give up? Or are you going to teach them what resilience looks like? Are you going to teach them what commitment looks like? Are you going to show them that when you get knocked down, you get back up every single time? When you have this component, your struggle is no longer just a struggle. It is a lesson. Your pain is no longer just pain. It is an investment in their character. You are showing them how to live. This why is so powerful. It can make you endure almost anything. The second component is society or community. This is about expanding your why beyond your own front door. This is about your contribution to the people around you. This might mean creating jobs. You might think, I am just a small business. I only have 2 employees. That is not only 2. That is 2 families that can pay their rent because of what you built. That is 2 other people who have a stable place to go and do meaningful work. When you are on your dark day, you might want to quit. But then you realize, if you quit, those 2 people lose their jobs. Your why is no longer just about you. It is about them. You are responsible for them. That responsibility gives you a strength you did not know you had. This component does not require you to be an employer. It can be about your contribution to your industry. It can be the decision that you are going to be the one honest, reliable person in a corrupt industry. It can be the mission to create a product that actually helps your community, even if it is not the most profitable one. It is the decision to leave your corner of the world a little better than you found it. The third component is posterity, or the future. This is the biggest why of all. This is the one that truly makes you a builder of cathedrals. This is the decision to build something that outlasts you. It is about the work itself. It is the book you write that someone will read 100 years from now. It is the business you build that will still be standing, still be serving people, long after you are gone. It is the knowledge you pass down to an apprentice, who will then pass it down to their apprentice. This is the mindset of the great craftsmen who built the cathedrals of Europe. The men who laid the stones for the foundation knew they would never see the roof. They knew they would be dead for 200 years before the final spire was put in place. And yet, they showed up every single day. They cut the stone perfectly. Why? They were not working for Pillar 1, money. They were not working for Pillar 2, praise. They were working for Pillar 3, posterity. They were building something for God. They were building something for their great-great-great-grandchildren. They were building something that would last. When your why is that big, what can possibly stop you? What does a bad review matter to a person building a cathedral? What does a bad month of sales mean? It is nothing. It is a speck of dust. You simply brush it off and keep building. This is the unbreakable three-legged stool. This is the complete house. The foundation, Pillar 1, money, your survival. The walls, Pillar 2, value, your craft and service. The roof, Pillar 3, legacy, your ultimate mission. Now let us go back to the dark day one last time. You are on the floor. You are broke. You are insulted. Pillar 1 is gone. Pillar 2 is gone. You feel the urge to quit. But then you remember Pillar 3. You remember your family. You will not teach your children how to quit. You remember your society. You will not abandon your employees or your community. You remember your posterity. You are not just doing a job. You are building a cathedral. And so, you stand up. You go back to the fix and optimize loop. You do the work. Not because you feel like it. Not because it is fun. Not because you are getting paid. You do it because of who you are. Your discipline is no longer a choice. It is your identity. This is the framework. This is the system that builds unbreakable, lifelong discipline. Now we have to learn how to use it. In the chapters to come, we will apply this three-pillar system to the real world. We will apply it to your 9-to-5 job, to your health, to your life. The theory is over. It is time to build. Chapter 7. Discipline in practice. Becoming irreplaceable as an employee. Now you might be thinking to yourself, this is a great system for an entrepreneur. It is perfect for someone building a business from scratch. But what about me? I am not an entrepreneur. I like my job. I work for a company. I have a boss. How does this three-pillar system apply to my 9-to-5? This is one of the most important questions we can ask. Because this system is not just for entrepreneurs. In many ways, it is more powerful and more necessary for an employee. This framework is the key to unlocking your career. It is the difference between being a cog in the machine and becoming the most valuable, respected, and irreplaceable person in your organization. Let us break down the 3 levels of an employee based on the 3-pillar system. As we go through them, I want you to be very honest with yourself. Ask yourself, which one of these is me? First, there is the transactional employee. This is the employee who is living their entire career on Pillar 1, money. They have a one-legged stool. Their relationship with their job is purely a transaction. They give the company a set number of hours, from 9 to 5. In exchange, the company gives them a set amount of money. This employee's entire why is the paycheck. Because this is their only pillar. Their primary focus is to protect their time and energy. They do exactly what is in their job description, and not one single thing more. They are the person who watches the clock. At 4:59, their hand is on their mouse, ready to log off. They are the person who says, "That is not my job." The transactional employee is not a bad person. They are a logical person. Their system is built on a single pillar, so their actions are logical. Why would they do more work if they are not paid more money? Why would they take on a new project if it is not in their job description? To them, it makes no sense. But this is the most dangerous and fragile position you can be in. Why? Because if your relationship with the company is just a transaction, you are a cost. You are a line item on a spreadsheet. And when times get tough, when the company needs to save money, what is the first thing they cut? They cut costs. The transactional employee has zero job security. They have no leverage. They have no power. They are a replaceable part. Now let us look at the second level, the valuable employee. This is the employee who has built Pillar 2. Value. They have a two-legged stool. This employee understands that money is the result, not the driver. They have made the critical shift from asking, "What can I get?" to asking, "What can I give?" The valuable employee asks a totally different set of questions. They ask, "What is my boss's biggest problem, and how can I solve it? What is the company's main goal this quarter, and how can my work push that forward? How can I make my entire team look good?" This employee is not just doing a job. They are solving a problem. They have turned their role into a craft. They have entered the fix and optimize loop for their career. They are not just a social media manager. They are obsessed with understanding the mind of their customer. They are in the business of solving the company's communication problem. They are not just an accountant. They are in the business of solving the company's financial confusion, finding efficiencies, and protecting the company's resources as if they were their own. When this employee sees a problem, they do not say, "That is not my job." They say, "This is a problem. How can we fix it?" Do you see the difference? This person is no longer just a cost. They are an asset. They are an investment. They are the person the boss relies on. They are the person the team trusts. This is the person who gets promoted. This is the person who gets the big raise. This is the person who, when layoffs are announced, is the first one moved to the safe list. By building Pillar 2, value, they have made Pillar 1, money, infinitely stronger. They have real job security. They have earned respect. They have leverage to ask for what they want. They are a valuable employee. This is a fantastic place to be, but it is not the final step. Even the valuable employee can have a dark day. What happens when you have a terrible boss who takes credit for your work? What happens when your company is sold and the new management does not appreciate your value? What happens when your Pillar 1, your salary is frozen, and your Pillar 2, your boss does not value you, are both attacked at the same time? This is where most valuable employees become bitter. They disengage, they get angry, or they quit. But there is a third level. This is the irreplaceable employee. This is the person who has all three pillars. They are the master of their own career. This employee has Pillar 1, money. They know their worth and they expect to be paid for it. They have Pillar 2, value. They are obsessed with solving problems and serving their team and their boss. And they have Pillar 3, legacy. Their why is internal. It cannot be shaken by a bad boss, a bad quarter, or a bad company. What does their legacy pillar look like? First, it is family. They know that they are setting an example for their children. They are teaching them what true professionalism looks like. They are teaching them that you do excellent work, not for your boss, but for yourself. You do not get to have a bad day and treat people poorly because your kids are watching. Second, it is society, or their team. The irreplaceable employee is the cultural leader, even if they have no official title. They are the person who mentors the new hire. They are the person who stops gossip. They are the person who shares credit with the team. Their why is not just their own success, but the success of the people around them. They build up their team. And third, and most important, it is posterity, or mastery. The irreplaceable employee has made a secret, powerful decision. They have decided that their company is not their career. Their craft is their career. Their job is just the place they get paid to practice their craft. Their boss is not their master. Their boss is their customer. This changes everything. They are not just a coder. They are on a mission to become a master programmer. The company is simply paying them to get better at their craft every single day. They are not just a salesperson. They are on a mission to become a master of communication and persuasion. Their sales quota is just a metric. Their real goal is mastery. This employee's why is their own reputation. It is their own skill stack. It is the body of work they are building. That is their asset. It does not belong to the company. It belongs to them. And that is a why that can never be taken away. If they have a bad boss, it does not matter. They will still do excellent work because they are not doing it for the boss. They are doing it for themselves, for their craft. If the company fails and they get laid off, they are not destroyed. They are not victims. They will simply take their mastery, their reputation, and their body of work, and they will get an even better job somewhere else. This is the endpoint of discipline for an employee. You are no longer just an employee. You are a professional. You are a craftsman. You are the chief executive officer of your own career. You have a choice. You can be the transactional employee living on Pillar 1. You will always be a victim of your circumstances, always worried about layoffs, always feeling like a replaceable cog. Or you can build your 3 pillars. You can become the irreplaceable employee. You will be in total control of your career, respected by your peers, and fueled by a why so powerful that nothing can stop you. The choice is yours. Chapter 8. Discipline beyond work. Health, hobbies, and lifestyle. We have now applied the 3-pillar system to your career. We have seen how it transforms you from a transactional employee into an irreplaceable professional. You now have the blueprint to take control of your work life. But what about the rest of your life? What about that gym membership card, still unused in your wallet? What about that dusty guitar in the corner? What about the stack of books you promised you would read, or the language you swore you would learn? Welcome back to the graveyard of good intentions. For many of us, our personal lives are where we quit the most. We tell ourselves that discipline is for work, and our free time is for relaxing. We use the just for fun excuse from Chapter 1 as a shield, but we do not feel relaxed. We feel the quiet shame of breaking another promise to ourselves. The true power of the 3-pillar system is that it is not a work strategy. It is a life strategy. It is the operating system that will allow you to finally stop quitting on yourself. Let us apply this powerful framework to the 2 areas where most people fail: our health and our hobbies. First, let us talk about health and fitness. Why does every gym in the world become a ghost town by February? Because almost everyone who joined in January built their motivation on a single, fragile, one-legged stool. What is the pillar one of fitness? It is the external result. This is the person who says, "My why is to lose 20 pounds before my vacation," or "My why is to get six-pack abs before summer," or "My why is to win this 5K race." These are all pillar one goals. They are transactional. They are a direct, measurable result, just like money, and they are a perfect setup for failure. How do they fail? First, they fail at the breaking point. You go to the gym for 2 solid weeks. You eat salads. You feel miserable. Then you step on the scale, and your weight has not moved. Not 1 pound. This is the moment. Your one and only why was to see the number on the scale go down. The number did not go down. Your one-legged stool has been kicked out from under you. All of that pain, all of that effort, for nothing. Your brain screams, "This is not working. This is a bad deal. Quit!" And so you do. Or you are training for the race. You push too hard, and you pull a muscle. You are injured. You cannot run the race. Your why is now impossible to achieve. So you quit. But this pillar also fails in the good enough trap. Let us say you succeed. You did it. You lost the 20 pounds. You look fantastic on your vacation. Now what? The vacation is over. The goal is accomplished. The hunt is over. Your why is gone. What happens to your discipline? It vanishes. You stop going to the gym. You stop eating well. And 6 months later, the 20 pounds are back, often with a few extra. You have to start all over again. This is why Pillar 1 is a terrible long-term strategy for your health. To build real, lasting discipline, you must build Pillar 2. Value. The value pillar for health is not the result on the scale. It is the process itself. It is the way the work makes you feel. This is the shift from "I work out to look good" to "I work out to feel good." This is the person who discovers that their why is the mental clarity they have after a morning run, or the stress relief they feel after lifting heavy weights, or the simple, quiet pride they feel in their own consistency. This pillar is so much stronger. When you are fueled by Pillar 2, you do not care what the scale says. You are not going to the gym for the scale. You are going to the gym for your mind. You are going for the energy. You are going for the stress relief. This is the why that gets you through the boring plateaus. Your weight might not change for a month, but you do not quit, because the feeling you get from the work is still there. You are in love with the process, not just the prize. This is a huge improvement. But even this can fail. What about the day you are exhausted? You are stressed. The last thing you want to do is go to the gym. Your value pillar is weak. You will not feel good doing it. To get through this day, you need the final, unbreakable pillar. You must build Pillar 3, legacy. What does legacy mean for your health? First, it is family. You are not just working out for you. You are working out for them. You are choosing to be a strong, capable, and healthy partner. You are choosing to have the energy to pick up your children and play with them. More than that, you are setting the example. You are teaching your children, without words, that taking care of your body is a non-negotiable part of life. But the biggest why of all is posterity, or in this case, longevity. This is the ultimate game. You are no longer focused on how you look this summer. You are focused on how you will live in your 70s. Will you be the 70-year-old who is playing sports, traveling the world, and picking up their grandchildren? Or will you be the 70-year-old who cannot get out of a chair without help? That choice is not made in your 70s. It is made today. It is made with every single workout. This why is unstoppable. When you are tired and the scale is not moving and you just want to quit, you remember Pillar 3. I am not doing this for a vacation. I am not doing this for my feeling. I am doing this to be a strong, capable human for my entire life. I am doing this for my family. And you get up. And you go. Now let us quickly apply this to that dusty guitar. Pillar 1. The reward. I want to impress people at a party. I want to look cool. This is why you quit. The first time you try to play for someone, you sound terrible. You feel embarrassed. The reward did not come. You quit. Pillar 2. Value. I love the process. This is the joy of creation. It is the meditative feeling of practicing. It is the personal, private satisfaction of finally nailing that one difficult chord. You are not playing for them. You are playing for you. This is much stronger. Pillar 3. Legacy. This is about connection. This is the why of wanting to play songs around a campfire with your friends. It is the why of wanting to teach your own child how to play. It is the why of participating in the human tradition of making music. When you have all 3 pillars, you will not quit. When you are frustrated, Pillar 2 is weak, and you sound terrible, Pillar 1 is weak. You remember Pillar 3. This is not about being a rock star. This is about connecting with people I love, and so you pick the guitar back up. The 3-pillar system is not just for your job. It is a blueprint for a disciplined life. It is the tool you will use to finally become the person you have always wanted to be. But there is one final piece of the puzzle. We have built the house. We have the foundation, the walls, and the roof. But now you have to live in it. You have the system, but you still have to execute it. This brings us to the final and most difficult barrier, your own mind. It is time to talk about the hard truth. It is time to talk about radical accountability. Chapter 9. The ultimate mindset, radical accountability. We are here. We have built the entire system from the ground up. We have poured the Pillar 1 concrete foundation, money, the honest, necessary, and responsible drive for security and freedom. We have built the Pillar 2 walls, value, the master craftsman's commitment to solving real problems, which gives you resilience when money is tight. And we have put on the Pillar 3 roof, legacy. The unstoppable internal why of family, society, and posterity, which makes you get up on your darkest day. You now have the complete blueprint. You have the perfect house. You have the 3-legged stool that cannot be toppled. You have in your hands a system that 99% of people will never understand. And yet, none of it matters. It does not matter at all. Because a blueprint is not a house. A map is not the journey. Knowing the path is not the same as walking the path. This chapter is the hard truth. It is the part of the conversation that is not comfortable, but it is the only part that creates real change. We have built the engine, but an engine does not start itself. You have the map, but you must take the first step. This entire time, we have been talking about strategy. Now we must talk about the one thing that turns strategy into reality. We must talk about radical accountability. This is the final missing piece, and it is the one that most people will do anything to avoid. What is radical accountability? It is the simple, terrifying, and completely liberating acceptance that you are 100% responsible for your life, not 99%. 100%. This is where we lose people, because right now, your mind is probably already fighting this. It is making a list of all the reasons this is not true. But what about the economy? That is not my fault. What about my terrible boss? He is the one holding me back. What about my past? I was raised this way. I have always been a procrastinator. What about my genetics? It is harder for me to lose weight. Let us be perfectly clear. Radical accountability is not about fault. It is not about blame. It is not your fault that it is raining. But it is 100% your responsibility whether you bring an umbrella or stand there and get soaked. It is not your fault if the economy is bad. That is the circumstance. But it is 100% your responsibility how you respond. Will you complain about it? Or will you use it as a reason to learn a new skill? Will you use it as an excuse to fail, or as fuel to build your 3 pillars? It is not your fault if your boss is unfair. That is his weakness. But it is 100% your responsibility what you do. Will you sit there and be a victim for the next 10 years? Or will you quietly build your pillar 2 and pillar 3? Making yourself so irreplaceable and so valuable that you can choose to go somewhere else. Radical accountability is the final step of growing up. It is the moment you stop waiting for someone else to save you. You must accept that no one is coming. No one is going to come to your house, pull you out of bed, and drag you to the gym. No one is going to take your hand, sit you down, and force you to build your business. No one is going to do the fix and optimize loop for you. This book cannot do it for you. I cannot do it for you. The perfect system is just ink on paper or sound in your ears until you add the most important ingredient, action. And this is where we meet the great hidden enemy of action. It is not laziness. It is something much more clever. It is called information seeking. Many people will finish this book. They will feel a rush of motivation. And then, do you know what they will do? They will go look for another book. They will search for another podcast. They will find another system, another guru, another life hack. They are information seeking. It feels like progress. It feels like you are still working on your goal. But it is a lie. It is the most sophisticated form of procrastination. It is procrastination disguised as learning. You are doing it because you are afraid. You are afraid to take the first step. You are afraid to fail. You are afraid of the pain of the fix and optimize loop. So you hide in the safety of learning more. You are waiting for the perfect moment. You are waiting until you know enough, and you will wait forever. You do not need more information. You have the system. What you need is courage. Radical accountability is the decision to stop hiding. It is the decision to stop blaming your past, your circumstances, or your boss. It is the decision to stop seeking just one more secret. It is the moment you look in the mirror and say, "It is all on me." This is not a burden. It is the ultimate freedom. The moment you accept total responsibility is the moment you take back all of your power. If your circumstances are the problem, you are powerless. You are a victim. If your boss is the problem, you are powerless. You are a victim. If your past is the problem, you are powerless. You are a victim. But if you are responsible, then you are the one with the power. You are the one who can change it. You are the one who can make the new choice. So this is the time. This is the moment of truth. I want you to conduct a personal accountability audit. Right now, I want you to think of that one goal: the dusty guitar, the gym membership, the business plan, the one thing you have been putting off. Now ask yourself, what is the story I have been telling myself about why I have not done it? Be honest. Is it, I do not have time? Is it is not the right moment? Is it, I am not talented enough? That is your story. It is the comfortable lie you have been living in. Now, I want you to ask the real question. What is the one small step I could take today to replace that story with action? Not a giant leap, a small step. You do not need to start a business. You need to buy the domain name. You do not need to get in shape. You need to put on your shoes and walk for 10 minutes. You do not need to learn the guitar. You need to sit down and practice one chord for 5 minutes. That is it. Your 3 pillars give you the why. Radical accountability is the how. It is the fuel for the engine. It is the decision to put the car in drive. This is the ultimate act of self-respect. It is the choice to honor your own dreams. It is the decision to stop being a spectator in your own life and to step onto the field. The map is in your hands. The path is clear. There is only one question left. What are you going to do now? Chapter 10. Labor as an honor. Turning discipline into your identity. We have come to the end of our journey together, but it is the beginning of your new one. Let us look back at how far we have come. We started in the graveyard of good intentions, trapped by the just-for-fun mindset that taught us how to quit. We learned that the antidote is the power of longevity, the commitment to the 10-year fix and optimize loop. To fuel that journey, we built the 3-pillar system. We poured the Pillar 1 foundation of money, the honest drive for security. We built the Pillar 2 walls of value, the master's commitment to solving problems, and we placed the Pillar 3 roof of legacy, the unstoppable why of family, society, and posterity. We learned how to apply this system, not just to business, but to your 9-to-5 job, to your health, and to your personal life. And in the last chapter, we added the fuel. We embraced the terrifying and liberating power of radical accountability, the decision to stop making excuses and take 100% ownership of your life. The system is complete. The engine is built. The fuel is in the tank. But there is one final, profound mental shift. This is the shift that takes discipline from something you do and turns it into something you are. It is the final piece that changes your entire relationship with work forever. For most of the world, work is a grind. It is a chore. It is an obligation. It is the case of the Mondays. It is the thing we have to endure, the price we pay to get to the real part of life, which is the weekend. This mindset is an anchor. It will drag you down for your entire life. As long as you believe this, work will always be a cost. It will always be something that takes energy from you. The final shift is to adopt a new philosophy. It is a philosophy that the greatest builders, craftsmen, and leaders have known for centuries. The philosophy is simple. Labor is an honor. Work is not a punishment. Work is not a chore. Work is a privilege. This is the final, essential reframe. It is the psychological switch from I have to I get to. Let me show you what this looks like. The old you, the person living with a one-legged stool, wakes up. The alarm goes off. You hit the snooze button. You think, ugh, I have to go to the gym. It feels like a punishment. The new you, the person with 3 pillars, wakes up. The alarm goes off. You think, I get to move my body. I am healthy. I am capable. I get to build my longevity so I can be there for my family. The old you sits down at your desk. You look at a difficult project. You sigh. I have to work on this stupid project. The new you sits down at your desk. You look at the same difficult project. You think, I get to solve this problem. I get to practice my craft. I get to build my pillar 2 and prove my value. I get to build my pillar 3, my reputation as a person who can handle hard things. The old you thinks, I have to practice the guitar. The new you thinks, I get to create music. The old you thinks, I have to write this business plan. The new you thinks, I get to build my cathedral. This is not a word game. This is not a positive thinking trick. This shift is only possible now because you have done the hard work of the previous chapters. You cannot just decide that labor is an honor if your work is meaningless. You cannot decide that work is a privilege if it is not connected to your deep, core why. But your work is now different. Because you have built your 3-pillar system, your daily work is now perfectly aligned with your deepest values. Every time you sit down to work, you are not just trading your time for dollars. You are actively building your life. Every email you send is a chance to practice your craft. Pillar 2. Every problem you solve is another brick in your cathedral. Pillar 3. Every dollar you earn is another measure of security for your family. Pillar 1. When your work is a direct, physical expression of your ideal, the work itself becomes the reward. The grind is the joy. The process is the prize. You are no longer working for the weekend. You are working for your mission. This is the psychological state of flow that you have heard about. It is the state where you are so immersed in your craft, so connected to your why, that time seems to disappear. You are not fighting to be disciplined. You are just being. You are expressing your purpose. And this is the final, ultimate shift. Discipline is no longer a tool you have to pick up. It is no longer a choice you have to make every single painful morning. It has become your identity. You do not have to try to be disciplined, any more than you have to try to be you. You are no longer a person who is trying to go to the gym. You are a healthy person. This is just what you do. You are no longer a person trying to build a business. You are a founder. You are a problem solver. This is just what you do. You are no longer a person trying to write a book. You are a writer. And writers write. This is the end point. This is the goal. Discipline is not about what you do. It is about who you are. Your habits are simply the external evidence of your internal identity. Your work is the physical proof of your why. So we are back where we started, in the graveyard of good intentions. But it looks different now. That dusty guitar is not a monument to your failure. It is an opportunity. It is a choice. The online course is not a mark of your shame. It is a tool waiting for a craftsman to pick it up. The business plan in the drawer is not a dead dream. It is a sleeping giant. This book, this entire system, was the map. I have given it to you. The path is clear. The blueprint is complete. The excuses are gone. The just-for-fun trap has been disarmed. The fragile one-legged stools have been broken and replaced. The fear of information seeking and the poison of blame have been neutralized by radical accountability. There is nothing left to learn. There is no other secret. There is only the work. And now you know that work is a privilege. It is an honor. The question is no longer, what do I do? The question is no longer, how do I do it? The only question that matters is the one that radical accountability demands you answer. Who will you become? Will you be the person who knows the path? Or will you be the person who walks the path? Will you be the person who just read a book about building a cathedral? Or will you be the person who picks up the first stone? The work begins now. Go. And build your cathedral. We have reached the end of this journey together. But it is the first day of your new life. The person who started this audiobook is not the person who is listening right now. That person was a hobbyist, trapped in the graveyard of good intentions. The person listening now is different. You are a builder. You are an architect. You hold in your mind the complete blueprint, the three-pillar system. You now understand why you failed, and you have the exact strategy to succeed. You have the foundation of money, the walls of value, and the roof of legacy. You have the ultimate fuel of radical accountability. You know, with certainty, that your labor is an honor. You are no longer a person who tries to be disciplined. You are a disciplined person. That is your new identity. But this is the most dangerous moment. That information-seeking trap we talked about is waiting for you. Do not let this just be another book you finished. Do not let this be a temporary feeling of motivation that fades by tomorrow. The work is not to find another book. The work is not to wait until Monday or until January 1st. The work is now. As you finish this audio, I have one simple, non-negotiable call to action for you. In Chapter 9, I asked you to identify your one small step. The dusty guitar. The 10-minute walk. The 5-minute practice session. The single phone call. Your task is not tomorrow. It is right now. Close this audio, put down your device, stand up, and go take that one single immediate step. Do it in the next 5 minutes. This is your first action as a new person. Prove to yourself that you are no longer the person who starts. You are the person who finishes. The blueprint is in your head. The tools are in your hands. This audio is over. Go and build your cathedral.